scientific whaling? Technically, it is whaling conducted for the purpose of research under what is called Article 8 of the Convention on the Regulation of Whaling, and that was put into effect in 1946. And it actually made sense back in those days, because in those days the only way to study whales was to kill them, which of course is very different today. So that provision went into the convention, but it has now served as a loophole for countries if they want to get around the moratorium on commercial whaling. And that's what happened with Japan. Japan gets around the moratorium by doing what it calls scientific whaling.
Scientific whaling, which is conducted by Japan, is the single most controversial issue in the International Whaling Commission. And Japan claims that it needs to kill a large number of whales every year for science. And most of us believe very strongly that the science, that the measurements they take from killing those whales is not necessary for any of the important research questions around the conservation and the management of whales.
Scientific whaling, and this, as it is right now, what I understand, it's pretty much to hunt whales under the premises that you do science most of the time, even if you don't really need it, but you want to have whale meat, and it's the way to get around the moral question of openly doing commercial whaling or scientific whaling.
Scientific whaling is an exception under the International Whaling Commission to the current ban on commercial whaling. It allows countries to kill whales for science, but it was never intended to replace commercial whaling, but largely Japan has attempted to subvert the purpose of scientific whaling to basically continue commercial whaling.
Scientific whaling, to me, and I've never worked with it, really is an excuse to continue whaling, and uses a loophole in the International Whaling Commission that allows countries to be doing research as a way for some countries to continue whaling. It's not part of any kind of a management scheme that ensures the numbers that are taken would be adequate, would be a stress to the population. It's not really reviewed or approved in any formal way by the International Whaling Committee or other scientists, and it bothers me as a scientist because I also think it undermines the credibility of science to call this activity scientific.
Scientific whaling by Japan, of course, has a scientific aspect to it, but it's also, as I think all understand, it also has a commercial aspect. It provides whale meat for the Japanese market.